2 years after CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria's Forex restriction, Governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, says the implementation of the bank's policy, which restricts importers of certain items access to foreign exchange from the Nigerian forex market, has led to improvements in the domestic production of those items.
Now, since the imposed restrictions, local manufacturers have recorded profits and major boosts to their revenue due to the policy. Okay, we have a financial expert, Mukhtar Mohammed, in the studio with us, who will be shedding some more light on this for us. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So, would you say that this CBN, policy of forex exclusion has really worked? In rice alone, we're told we've been saved some $600 million.
Beautiful. Wow. I mean, it seems it's working, even if we had our reservation about how it's working. Because if you've saved 600 million alone, and the Thailand government are now shouting that their importation has dropped, also their exportation has dropped almost by 90%. Yeah. That's good news. Then again, when you look at how much we've been able to save, I mean, before we used to have a backlog of about 5.5 billion alone for requests to import these things, and these things have dropped to about 1.5 billion. I mean, we had 5.5 billion to 1.5 billion. That is really huge. It is. And you could see, again, that playing out in our reserve. One year ago, our reserve was about 23 billion. Yeah. Today, we are doing about 34 billion.
And they're saying it will be 40 billion next year.
By 2018. Yeah.
So it's good. The only thing is that we need to do more in terms of infrastructure. And if you look at this, you realize that it's the monetary policies alone that is working. We keep saying the physical policy is not playing its part. If we want to have a steady growth, the fiscal policy have to play their part. You look at Unilever. Unilever is having an agreement with CBN to reopen their margarine plant where they manufacture things like butter that was taken to Ghana. Yeah. They said by in the next couple of months, they've entered an agreement with CBN and they'll be doing. Now, my challenge is we are still encouraging the multinationals. So the small businesses are still going to be looking for ways to make money, and that's why they will still think of importing, because the government of our CBN is saying we've not seen any support to the SME, to a little SME that was the one involved in importation of these goods that have established a company. What we see the CBN doing is the CBN going to the major manufacturers, the key holders, and say, look, instead of you doing this, we'll support you with Forex, we'll support you with a lot of things for you to do it here in Nigeria. I think we should go down a little to begin to bring out the SMEs, begin to support the small businesses. Of course,
that's a catalyst that will really turn around
the economy and make it steady, what we are seeing, because I can tell you from here that remember, these goods were not banned from coming to Nigeria. They're only restricted. So these guys are still finding ways to get this Forex and also import this good. It may not be like before, it might not be like from the CBN, but they have other sources. And sometimes Nigerians still prefer to patronize these ones that are imported than these ones that are in Nigeria.
Exactly.
And again, that could be, you could see that playing out in the area of, now it's not helping them because they have steady inflow, yes. The stability of the Naira. And if you want to see how negative that have impacted, if you look at the positive side, if you look at it, don't see how negative that has impacted. You look at the inflationary figure. It's not going down drastically like we really want to. So that shows you that they are still importing these things. But maybe now it's not based on demand and supply, and trust Nigerians. They still have
the demand is still high for imported. Now, the multiple Forex window of having multiple Forex rates is still one thing people are concerned about. But what impact is it having on all of this?
You see, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that for now.
Why not?
Why?
Because we are not yet there. We are still doing what we used to do before, use our foreign reserve to defend our currency. So as long as we keep doing that, we will not get to that uniform level of the exchange rate. Now, let's take the budget for the instance. The CBN and the federal government is tracking their budget at 305.
Yes.
The import and export windows, which happen to be one of those key indices that have created stability in the exchange rate, is stuck at 360. Then you go to the streets, to the malam on the street is still tagged at 365, 366. So now, if you look at it, the airline industry also, if you want to buy a ticket online, it's tagged at 360. So there must be so when you
those
look
on
at that,
pilgrimage,
yeah,
it's something else.
You can imagine that we're not giving that to small business. We don't want to go into that. We're not telling SMEs to come and have exchange at 305. SMEs will still have to struggle for this exchange at 360. So what are we to do? We need to begin to look at the balancing. And if you look at the balance, you realize the exchange would always hover between 360 to 350. Now, why would we have this challenge? Is because I still boil down to that. Our major key driver of our economy still remain oil. And we are still there because the price of oil is still at 60 to 62. That's why we are now shouting this hooray. But we've not, if there's any shock, then we might have to go back to where we were
Okay, well,
before.
but the CBN governor says with this, relatively stable outlook, that they will begin to more easing some of the, old rate holds. Is that advisable? Is it time for them to begin to think along those lines?
I think it's time for them because actually when you ease this, easing of the monetary rate, it's going to help, especially in the area of non-performing loans to bank, which has been very high.
A very huge problem.
Very huge problem.
Yeah.
Then it's going to help the small and medium scale enterprise begin to access loan at better interest rate. That's what people have been crying for. And then we begin to see a little, because the tightening of the system in liquidity is not helping. And now it's not even helping to the fact that it's the government that's doing a lot of borrowing. The banks are not ready to give borrowing to the SME because of the strong, the tightening of the monetary rate. So by the time they ease this monetary rate, then we see banks begin to give loan to SMEs. We begin to give loan to some of these businesses that have integrity. We need to put that because most 90% of the non-performing loan, if you look at it, are not even given to the real business. They're given to people that have stakes in the banks, that have stakes in businesses.
Now, for the Nigeria's debt is about, from the papers today, is about 20 trillion, which means it's rising. And as at yesterday or recently now, the National Assembly has approved $5.5 billion loan that the government. It seems the loan is accumulating and all of that. What is the impact of that?
No, you need to give it to this government in terms of that. We're seeing borrowing with specifics.
Okay.
We are not seeing borrowing that we just hear in the newspaper and we don't see anything. We could start to ask questions. We are borrowing with specific. We are borrowing for the rail project. We are borrowing for the road project. We are borrowing for power. We are beginning to see all this borrowing is tied to a particular project, which is good. Now, secondly, you need to see why they are borrowing. They are not increasing their internal borrowing.
They want to increase foreign external borrowing. Yeah.
So now external borrowing is getting high. And now, why are they doing that? Because of the rates, they are getting it externally and the time duration to pay. And now, what are they doing? So they are borrowing outside to settle indigenous contractors. So that help. There's a bandwagon effect that will come. That means companies that are closed, companies that lay off staff will begin to employ staffs again. There will be activities begin to kick up in this.
So you agree that the private sector would be the greatest beneficiaries then?
Definitely, the private sector will be the greatest beneficiary if we continue like that.
So there'll be a robust multiplier effect in all of this.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Mukhtar Mohammed, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yeah.